time for Budeshi. Welcome, people. Thank you for staying here and thank you for joining us in case you are just joining us. Today, our topic is film as a tool to inculcate integrity values. Very, very important, huh? And that may sound something like off, but remember, all the time, the PPDC always organizes film contests, script writing, and a whole lot. So it's a whole lot of work that they're doing as regarding accountability, but also doing some other things, to make it a complete package. So film as a tool to inculcate integrity values. Now, the film industry, like we all know, is one that is very, very vast and has embraced a lot of positive changes in recent times as opposed to when it first began its journey in Nigeria. Now, with initiatives like Homevida that the PPDC is at the forefront of doing, that provides incentives for young filmmakers to promote core national and corporate values in their movies, these changes have become full-blown and visible in the society. Now, to discuss this topic this morning, I have with me in the studio Nana Izzy, who is a communications officer at the PPDC. Good morning to you, Nana.
Good morning, Swat.
Thank you for coming over. And Samuel is also here. Samuel Omejaku, Homevida project coordinator. He's been here several times. Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning, sir.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
All right. So let's start off this way, or before we start, why don't you tell the listeners who and what Homevida is all about?
Okay, good morning, listeners. Homevida is actually one of the projects of PPDC, and what we do is we encourage filmmakers, not just young ones, but even the veteran filmmakers as well. We encourage them to make films that promote socio-economic values, and so we do that in two ways. For the young ones, we do provide mentorship opportunities for them. We do train them. We do also link them up with the already established Nollywood filmmakers. And for the veterans as well, we do provide monetary incentive for them to encourage them, those that have been able to use that art, that what they normally do, to also communicate positive value. So we do tell them, well done, that we see what they're doing, and we also do promote their work on our platform. That's basically what Homevida does, and that's what we've been doing for the past 8 years.
Okay, so film as a tool to inculcate integrity values. Why do you feel the need to change the perception of Nigerian movies?
Okay, so if you notice in the past, Nollywood movies mostly focus on stereotypical issues like witchcraft, 419, wicked stepmothers. So what this did was it made it it showcased Nigeria in a kind of bad light for people abroad. So when they see all these movies, all they see is that all we do is witchcraft, 419, juju, and all those kind of things. So it's important that filmmakers change the perspective of Nigerian movies, because film can be used as a tool in projecting the image of Nigeria. So when we talk about critical societal issues, people abroad and all over the world can see that Nigeria is taking initiative to produce good movies that can stand the test of time. So it's not more just about movies being entertaining. Movies should be entertaining but educative, and it should focus on core values that affect the society.
Because it's a tool, like you said.
Exactly, it's a
we
tool.
can tell a lot. You can tell a lot about the country even before going there.
Yeah, I mean, if you also look at so not just Nigeria, other countries are actually doing it. Other countries are using that medium to sell their culture. To sell their products. Some of us have not traveled maybe to India or to US.
We know a whole lot about India.
Exactly, we understand them.
Yes.
So they've identified that that's a powerful avenue to actually communicate and even inspire people. So they are using it very, very well. And I mean, Nollywood is second and one of the largest
movie industry.
In the world, and it's very, very important that we try to influence the what comes out of that industry to a larger extent and use it to communicate who we really are, because we believe that there are some things happening here, bad ones, but we also know that there are good ones happening. So we should what we try to do is to try and highlight those good ones as well, so that people will now make informed decisions.
Okay, so I know that the Homevida project has been on and you guys have been so involved with Nollywood. I'd like to ask if your activities has made an impact on the type of films that have been produced in Hollywood?
Yeah, of course. I mean, having worked here for 6-7 years now, and being the partnership manager, I've actually seen every year, even now, we have veteran filmmakers, I can call names, that will call you in January and tell you, okay, so which team are you promoting this year? So that because the thing is, Nollywood filmmakers, they will normally make that's what they do. You know, that's their business. That's what they do. So they will always ask you, what team are you promoting this year? So that they will start from the script, try to infuse those messages in their work. So yes, we've been able to influence a couple of, you know, quite a number of films. You know, so you can look at Wives on Strike. You know, we work, we gave Honorable Award last year. We worked with some veteran filmmakers, Lancelot, Chinenwo Kabia, you know, a couple of them, Isha Abako. So these are the guys that we've worked with over time. And if you look at the film they promote, they are producing right now, you will see those threads of using it to tell some positive stories and also to start driving some vital issues in the society. So yes, we can actually say yes, Homevida have actually influenced there.
So, and to add to what he said, so during the script competition and the whole workshop, we also try to influence the young filmmakers. So last year we were able to get, or not able to get, the participants of the workshop came up with a movie called Ghana Street League. So they did this on their own. This was an initiative that they worked on their own. So we are trying to influence that. So not only did they come together to work on this project, many of them have also done individual projects which talk about huge societal issues and promoting the Nigerian culture.
Okay, so have you had any engagements with Nollywood in promoting these values? And if you have, what and how have they been? So
okay, so yeah, we've had series of engagements. I recall, like in 2016, we did work with when the MDG was winding up.
Okay.
Yes, so we did work with United Nations Millennium Campaign. You know, they're the UN organ that was in charge of that body. So we did work with them to. We had a seminar, a workshop in Lagos with the Nollywood guilds. You know, like 8-9 guilds. You know, ranging from the Directors Guild, Actors Guild, Producers Guild, or editors. You know, to talk to them on how to use film to promote the MDGs. You know, and after that we could see some films that they made. We also did facilitate Nollywood going to New York for like a workshop, which we did facilitate with SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission.
Okay.
And even last year as well, we also worked with USAID, SACE program. SACE is Strengthening Advocacy and Civic Engagement. And we are talking to them on how to also use film. We did talk to them on how to use film to promote transparency, accountability, and good governance issues.
Yeah.
You know, and after whenever we engage with them, we could see that, you know, oh, I didn't know it could. This story could actually be. This is what is happening, and if we do it this way, it could actually have effect. And yes, we've been engaging with them, and it's a constant thing. Even they say we're also looking forward to continue our engagement with the Nollywood industry as a whole. You know, bringing them the issues that they might be aware of, but they might not have like a full grasp of it. So that's what we've been doing with them.
Okay. So you keep mentioning young filmmakers. What is the role of the youth in all of this? And has the response? I also want to know what the response has been like. And then, are there more youths talking about making and producing movies and films?
Yeah, like my
say
colleague.
so?
Yes. Like Nena rightly mentioned. So our focus really is the young ones, and even the veterans will tell you that they have different factions. They would call them themselves New Nollywood, you know, Neo Nollywood, and all that. And the veterans will tell you that they are actually, you know, I won't use the word facing out, but they are trying to hand over the baton to these young ones, and they're yes, you know, they are new leaders in the Nollywood.
Yeah. And
even last year they did come around. The veterans did come around to mentor the young ones, you know, this upcoming on the challenges they face, you know, coming into that industry, you know, and how they were able to overcome that challenge. I now see these ones, you know, identifying those at the early stage, so they didn't have to make those mistakes themselves, you know. So they're now learning from people that have gone through that road and now, you know, correcting it.
So last year we found, we saw this young people coming together as a team, that's part of networking, and producing something on their own without any financial assistance from anybody. And that's what has been lacking in Nollywood. You see this, everybody doing their own thing in silos, and they couldn't come together. But now, having come from that, and having those Nollywood veterans, talk to them on the power of collaboration. We saw that happening last year, and they've continued because we follow them and we see the things they've been doing since for the past 6 or 4 5 months. And that's very encouraging. And yes, they are taking their place. If you also look at some of the powerful films we've been that have been producing since in this couple of years, you see that most of them are being driven by the younger ones.
Younger ones.
Yeah, so it's very impactful. Well, that they are our target. They are the ones that we're actually looking forward to working with the help of the veterans as well. So yes, I think we believe that it's
and do you see this young people or this youth, actually producing movies with the right values? What will you seek to project out there to people aside the home front and all of that? Do you see them producing such kind of movies, such genres of
Yes,
movies?
I think I see them producing some movies because the world is evolving, and so is the movie industry. So people no longer focus on the trivial things of life; they focus on big issues.
On big issues, yeah.
So for them to be recognized outside globally, they need to also produce movies which target big issues.
Sure.
Yes, so I see them producing movies like that in future.
Nice. So what recommendations can you give to Nollywood filmmakers and the youths who are trying to get into the film industry? I mean, I know it's a murky terrain and a whole lot has a lot of mountains that they have to scale through and a whole, but basically recommendations and your own recommendations.
So I would say to the Nollywood filmmakers that it's important to portray Nigeria in a better light and in a good light. And when doing this, they should also take time to do their research. So it's not just making hypotheses on issues. They should take time, do the research, do their readings, gather their findings before making these movies. Because when this is done, facts are projected and people can see it, and their work definitely will be recognized. And for the young filmmakers who are going into Hollywood, I recommend that they keep in mind that film is a very big tool and it can reach a whole lot of people. So they should use that tool and that medium to pass positive information. So not just entertain, but they should bear in mind that film can be used as an entertainment tool as well as an educational tool.
You want to answer that, Samuel?
Yeah, I mean, Nollywood, they are very wonderful. I mean, they've been doing a great job. If you look at there are some films that have been coming out of late, you could actually go to cinema and just sit down and watch these films,
and enjoy
get yes, and also take away something, yes, and also take away something. So I know that they've been doing wonderfully well, and I would say kudos to them. I also want them to now start, way of bringing these issues, like bringing them out still in a very subtle way. They are there, but they shouldn't just look at financial gain, so to say, because I mean,
you say it's their business. This is their business. This is where they come from. So
yeah, so I mean, they make money, yes, but once in a while you should be able to look at a way of giving back to the society. I would say the veterans, you need to start, come out clearly or boldly and start mentoring the younger ones. They are willing to learn. We've worked with them for the past 6, 7, 8 years. They are very, very willing to learn. They are available. So they might not have that money, to come for a workshop. They might not have that money to go for maybe the London Film Academy or our Nigeria Film Institute Academy. But if you make yourself available, we're 100% sure they're willing to learn. For the younger ones, I would say there's nothing like you can't underestimate the power of networking, collaboration. So if they find amongst them different skill sets, in the film industry, they should come together. And there's cameras all over the place. There's equipment all over the place. So let them understand that the collaboration works, and they should just explore it and start putting out contents out there.
Basically, I think if you make a good movie, if you focus on making a very good movie, you shouldn't even be worried about the monetary values because
Exactly.
that would be
You
the
can't-
reward.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we've seen people like Night Shyamalan who produced some movie sometimes back. Was it Sixth Sense or so? You know, relatively unknown.
Yeah.
He did a good movie and it just returned like it was a big a blow at the box office and
Yeah.
so on. So I think if you do a good job, you shouldn't even be worried.
Worry about
But you know, over and above all that we've been talking about, you know, we mentioned the word value. What are some of the new, values that you want to see our Nollywood producers, you know, the Nollywood industry basically, you know, begin to focus on? Yeah, I know there's a whole lot we need to strengthen, but you know, to strengthen or to showcase and sell to the world. What are some of these values, you know, you encourage you?
Okay, so so one of the team where there's a whole lot of them, you know. So if the news that came in maybe starting from like November into this year, the whole Libya thing, you know, irregular migration, you know,
okay.
people seeking for greener pasture. If you could look inward, you know, and start using this film. I remember growing up, you know, you watch Cockrell at Dawn, and you know, those films, they dignified, you know, farming. You know, you want to become a farmer. You know, you want to go into agriculture and all that stuff. So until now, you know, everybody now want to wear shirt and tie, you know, go to office and sit down. Some of us don't do anything there, you know. So we could start looking for, you know, those opportunities here and start promoting them. We're also looking at, you know, now election is around the corner,
Sure.
You know, and some people don't really
lead.
exactly. So you could use that form, you know, to educate, you know, people in the local, people who watch Nollywood film.
Sure.
People sit down in their homes, in their, you know, places, you know, stand on the street and watch those films. You could actually use it to start bring to the fore, you know, the challenges we're having in this country, you know, break it down to the way that, you know, say, take for instance the procurement issue, you know, if you can break it down in a way that a market woman will understand how government policy and budget affects them in that local place, I mean, that's a huge one. And you know, they will better understand it, and they will be able to, and once they better understand it, they will be able to engage in their local environment. So these are just a whole lot of issues, you know, you can think of. You know, if you want to highlight it, the you know, transparency issue, if you want to, there's a whole lot that you can actually tell. So I mean, if you want to talk up the migration, transparency, corruption, you know, even government issues, you know, that you feel that, okay, this one is not working in my environment. If you want to highlight it, we've seen documentaries, we've seen feature films doing that, highlighting very, very genuine issue. The one I talked about earlier, The Wives on Strike, did, you know, I don't know if you've seen it, a very wonderful film. Yes,
Yeah.
you know, talking about, you know, some traditions and cultures, you know, that, you know, we should look at and revisit, you know, if it's still something that we want to do at this stage, you know, when the world is actually moving forward and we are still stuck up in our old way of doing things. So that's so whole, and it's changing and it's working. You know, when people see these things, when you hear about how it changes their perception, it's a very powerful tool, and I think we should be able to encourage them to do that.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's a great one there, and we really hope that with collaboration with, you know, the Homevida project and Nollywood, you get to see so much of this kind of movies being churned out, and basically people begin to take away something, and it will transform to the change we want to see in society. Well, our discussion this morning has been focused on film as a tool to inculcate integrity values, and I've been talking with Tina Naisi, the communications officer, PPDC, and Samuel Mejaku, who is a Homevida project coordinator. Well, if you want to get involved in the discussion now, it's time for you to do so. 27 minutes past 8. And let's take your thoughts. You know, how do you think the Homevida project, Nollywood, can work effectively towards inculcating integrity values and the other values, you know, very cherished values that we can begin to see being sold out to the world and to us as a people, so that we can learn. 0803 123 0293 and 08095974869, 0946009541, The numbers you can call, then if you want to send a message, if you have any thoughts on our discussion this morning, please do so. Send us a message on 0809999 30137. Okay, so we await your calls and your responses this morning to the discussion. Well, Samuel, want to give us any sneak peek on what you guys have for this year or something?
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be huge. So we started
Okay, maybe
engagements.
hold your thought. Let's just hear from this person and continue from there.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, you're welcome.
I'm George from Babana.
Okay, welcome.
I call in the respect of the program
Okay,
about this Nollywood film.
yes.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. If they can be able to retain some of the themes, just to show something that is easier to watch with your family and some other things. Not most of all this, I don't know the way to put it. You see?
Maybe
I remember my
explicit.
disco crash saw that you people mentioned that place. You people mentioned something like that thing can even promote the morals of the people in agriculture and other agriculture and other things.
Yeah.
See, I remember when I was small. I was small listening, watching that program. I don't like to miss that program during that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they can be able to bring those type of program back, let people continue to watch it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much
Yeah.
for your thoughts and contributions. Well, I don't know. Much as we're evolving and transforming, we seem also to be buying cultures that are a bit alien to us, so that these days you're not even too comfortable watching Nigerian movies or Nollywood movies with your family. I mean, I know before people want to encourage that because you have nothing to be afraid of. The kids can watch and they can learn something, but these days you have to censor it. So I mean, so much as we're improving, but we're also seeing a lot of introduction of some sort of things.
That's what we are saying. I mean, people want to go to those places because of what they see in movies that they watch. You look at you.
Okay, sorry. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
And good morning to your guest. My name is Bashir.
Welcome, Bashir.
Concerning inculcating the morals that we want to see, in our movie industry, I think that cannot be overemphasized. I think one of the biggest propaganda material.
Oh, Bashir, sorry about that. Please call back if you can before we close the show. Hello. Hello. Okay, sorry. I think we have a problem.
Yeah. So I was saying, if you look at the people want to live here because they perceive or what they see in the movie that, I mean, if you watch American movie, everybody is perfect. You could actually, from the movies, you think you can pick the dollars on the street, everything is working.
Yeah.
They won't show you that there are beggars over there. They won't show you that, people do go to work, and actually earn a living, I think we should also bring it back home. We should be able to look at opportunities here and start using the same medium that these people have. I mean, as even on your phones, go on YouTube, go to all the online platforms, start using those medium, to start pushing out these messages. It sells, it works, and people watch it and they will start looking to into these opportunities. And
All right. So we still have someone on the line here. Hello. Sorry, we lost that. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is Sunshine from Life Camp.
You're welcome, Sunshine. Please go on.
Apart from the finance aspect that your guests were talking about, I think another thing is that most Nigerian films, they also try to avoid, films that shows terrorism or the problems that we are faced with in this country at the moment. I remember in those days of apartheid, you had people like Miriam Makeba and some other veteran musicians, who even at the risk of their life, through their music, was portraying the condition in which they are being faced with and all that. And by doing that, by so doing, they're also
Oh, another one that we lost there, but let's take the last call now. Hello. Okay, sorry about that. I think we have some issues there with our network, or maybe it's the rain, I don't know. But Isa Tukuma from Apple says this is wonderful initiative by PPDC. Thank God somebody is doing something about giving direction, different direction to our movie industry. I hope movies in HIV or on HIV survival, stigma, and discordant relationships could be supported. Please give me their contact. They'll definitely give you their contact before they leave. So just stay tuned. And then Ekene from Kubwa said, I worked for PPDC in 2015 and they're so amazing. I call them a problem-solving institution, and thanks to you for stepping into Nollywood, and I strongly believe things will get better. Yay!
Thank you, Eke.
Thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and people are testifying, so great job, guys, great job. So well, before we go though, okay, I think we have another message that just came in now. Corey Stevens is from Kubwa. He said, I'm a film seller, and I'm telling you, our Nollywood movies are fast going down, but thank God for the kind of films that they produce now. That they are classics, and I also wish to say that they should do more. Indeed, I'm sure that you guys are collaborating to do so much more for our movie industry, right? Exactly. Okay, so before you go, what would be your final words, basically? Starting with you now.
Okay, I would say that Nollywood has done a great job in the past, so it is important that we keep on doing that great job and keep on working harder, so that in future we can see movies which can talk about big issues in the country and also teach our younger generations how these things can affect them. Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, so for me, I will just say a quick one. For the guy, I think he said he's a movie producer, if we can highlight some issues. Yeah, we actually, so if the person contacts us, we actually receive those films, because that's what we do at Homevida. We try to identify those films, and start promoting them, make sure that people, across the board sees it and possibly imbibe in whatever message they're trying to promote. So if we do receive such movies and we do promote them on our platform. All
right, so what would be your maybe you just give out your address, your numbers, and your Twitter handle, all that you need to give to people so that they can reach out to you.
So you can follow us on Instagram at Homevida Awards, on Twitter at Homevida, Facebook at Homevida, and our website is homevida.org. I'm going to spell out the Homevida. It's HOMEVIDA. And you can also call us on 080-362-67188. I'm going to take that again. 080-362-67188. Yes, so we are expecting your calls and we can collaborate with you on various projects.
Okay, so you heard that. Please take down the numbers and reach out to them on social media, and also call them, and I'm sure there will be so much you can talk about in case you want to collaborate.
Watch out for Homevida 2018.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
Okay, so you're not gonna tell us anything about that.
Next time when
okay, no, I'll wait for that.
Yeah.
Wait for that. Thank you, Nena, as a communications officer at the PPC, and Samuel Mejaku, Homevida project coordinator. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for us.
And thank you for all you're doing at the PPC.
Thank you.
All right, Muleshi will come up next week.